Hey guys, today I have a quick video for you moms out there, or anybody really I guess who works in childcare. This is a back to school with Bree video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it and tag me in anything that you use from these videos. I have a couple more that I want to try to get up in the next couple of weeks so you guys can watch them before school starts. But this one is for moms and teachers you know, that have younger kids that want to help them adjust to going to school. So I have 10 tips that will help your child get ready for back to school or adjust to back to school. This is primarily for kids going into daycare or preschool where you do have time to adjust. So just keep that in mind while you're watching this video. The first tip is to wake up earlier. I would suggest, you know, gradually waking your child up at the time they would need to get up for school. So by the time school starts or preschool starts or they start daycare, they are already waking up that early so they aren't as grumpy and it doesn't really affect them as much as it would. So that's always, I mean, you can use that as an adult too. Sorry if you hear the people upstairs, they're like making so much noise. But it's true for adults too. It helps if you start waking up at the time you're supposed to wake up. So you won't be as tired or as grumpy or anything like that. The second tip I have is to start a similar schedule at home as they would have at school. Things like eating breakfast between a certain amount of time and transitions, playing outside, and nap time. I know several parents who just start their children and they're like, oh, they're normally sleeping from like, you know, 10 to 11 or 1 to 2 or stuff like that. So find out what your childcare center does, what schedule they are on, and try to start that several weeks out. Like the place I work at, we do nap time from 12 to 2, and I know some kids do have a hard time adjusting to that, but it will help if you start your schedule that your kids will have earlier on. It won't make it as stressful on them. The third tip I have is to transition. Now I know a lot of places do not recommend this. They don't even mention it, but it really helps the kids out. What I mean by transitioning is having, I'd recommend 2 to 3 visits with mom or dad at the center. Some places won't let you, which I find that's crazy. Where I work now, we always recommend transitioning. I find it really helps the children. So 2 to 3 visits with their mom and dad, staying for an hour or 2, playing with the other kids, getting used to things, and then eventually scheduling half days. Half days, what we do half days is normally either, you know, however early in the morning, could be like when you open, to like right after lunchtime. We call that a half day. And then their parents come pick them up. I recommend 3 to 4 half days so they get used to it, and then after that you could start full days. But it really helps the kids if they get used to it with their parents, and then half days without their parents. They get used to their surroundings, the teachers, and the schedule. Even though if you do start them at a similar schedule at home, they're still going to have a little adjustment period to the schedule at school because it's with different people, more kids, and things like that. The fourth tip I have is to bring something from home. Now some places don't like you doing that, but I mean, even if it's like, you know, a special blanket or a little toy that they can carry around with them throughout the first couple of days to remind them that their parents are coming back and that, you know, they're not stuck there forever. They're going home. It's just kind of like a security blanket for kids, and I really recommend it. I mean, I remember sometimes when I was younger and I was starting at a new place, I would get so much anxiety even though I was younger that it would have really helped to have something that's not, I mean, sometimes blankets can help, but things that can be taken away easily. Blankets are more like permanent, I feel like, but like a little toy or something that smells like home, reminds them of home, and that they can take home and bring back for a couple of days, that seems to help. The 5th tip is playdates. This is kind of similar to transitions, but playdates don't have to be as long. I feel like if they make friends the first couple of transition days or half days, they can have playdates with some of those kids, or you know, they can just come play for 30 minutes at a time. There's no pressure, you know, you don't have to stay for lunch, nothing like that. Playdates are a must in my opinion. The 6th thing I highly recommend is, if you don't start timeouts, then start using them. This depends on center to center though, so find out what their discipline policy is, and if they use timeouts and you don't use them at home, or you don't use the same method. I know nobody wants to change their parenting style, but this will help your kids out tremendously. Typically the rule is, you know, a minute for how old the child is. So if they're 1 year old, like 1 minute, 2, 2, 3, 3. But find out their discipline policy and try to incorporate that a little bit, just so they don't freak out when they get in trouble and they have to sit down for a minute. It'll probably help them in the long run anyway, because it might help you out. The 7th tip I have is books. Not every child likes books, obviously, but a lot of them do, and there are several different books to help out there, that, you know, starting a new school, or, you know, books to help with separation anxiety. There are several out there that have great illustrations, so I highly recommend checking into those. Like I said, what works for one child won't work for all of them, but if your child does like books, then they might seriously help when transitioning a child into a new center. The 8th tip I have is to actually talk about school and talk about them going to a new place, just casually, like, are you excited for your new school, to make new friends, for your new teachers and to learn and everything like that. Mentioning it really helps them in the back of their mind to think about going to a new school and meeting new people. So just mentioning it every once in a while should help. The 9th tip I have is a new outfit. Now, this might not work if your child is really young, but if they're like 1.5, 2 and up, it should help, because you can say, let's go pick out a new outfit for school, for daycare, for your new classroom. And you know, new things are exciting, and when they wear it for the first time to their new school, they'll recognize, oh, we did buy this for this reason, so this is okay, I'm supposed to be here, we're gonna have fun. And I mean, who doesn't love new clothes? The 10th tip is to talk to your teacher. Talk to the person who is going to be caring for your child throughout the day. Get to know them, have, you know, text them, email them, have conversations, get to know their style of teaching, and see if you guys connect. If you guys don't connect, then it's not going to work out. A few little other tips that I have is to do your research. I know for Tennessee, you can go to tennessee.gov or tn.gov, and you can look up every complaint that a place has had for the past 10 years. If they have stars, which I believe the stars program is everywhere, but stars, if you have like 3 stars, that's the highest quality program you can get. And a lot of places strive to be that, but still there are some complaints, and you can go on there and look up whatever center you're looking into, and it'll show you the list of complaints that they've had in the past like 10 years, and that could help you make your decision, because if you ask them about it and they like dodge the question, obviously that's shady. But if they don't have any complaints on file, or if you ask them and they have a solid explanation or something like that, that could help you in your decision making. And you don't want a shady place to keep your child. Even if it's just like minor things, you always want to know what you're getting into when you pick a place, especially because childcare can be so expensive. Like I said, the star rating is a big thing, so I would definitely look for that when you are looking for a place. Like I said, not every place has it, but the people who are really wanting to be top of the line, they're gonna have that star rating. And another suggestion is to ask around. Word of mouth is like the best thing ever. See, you know, who had personal experiences there. If you're in a place that does like hip, you know, like hip Nashville, or, you know, different cities on Facebook groups, you can ask on there and see what people thought about that center and their personal experiences and if they would recommend it. So I would just recommend asking around. That, you know, could help you a lot, because not everybody's experiences are the same. Some people might not like it for a petty reason, or they might have a legitimate reason. You just have to see and compare different places to make the best decision for your child. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helped some of you. I know it's kind of a different video. I haven't really seen that many on YouTube, but I know there are some, so go check those out if you haven't, just to get different tips and tricks. When it comes to kids, I am by no means an expert in this area. I, you know, do go to school for this and I do have experience, but these tips won't work for everyone, and not every child is the same. So see what works for your child. If you have any other tips, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear them and share them with others. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Did I mess up your placement? Yeah. I'm recording.